Hi, how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. We are still continuing on with John 8. We're up to verse 21. Whoops. And anyway, this is about Jesus predicting his departure. Verse 21, he said to them again, I'm going away. You will look for me, and you will die in your sin. Where I'm going, you cannot come. So the Jews said again, he won't kill himself, will he? Since he says, where I'm going, you cannot come. Verse 23, you are from below. He told them, I am from above. You are of this world. I am not of this world. Therefore, I told you that you will die in your sins, for if you do not believe that I am he, you will die in your sins. Who are you? They questioned. Exactly what I've been telling you from the very beginning, Jesus said. I have many things to say and to judge about you, but the one who sent me is true, and when I have heard from him, these things I tell the world. They did not know that he was speaking to them about the Father. Okay, I'll just spread this. Whoops. These pages on this Bible are so thin. It's like, and this is the big purple Bible. Okay, and you could see it there. So Jesus said to them, when you set up the Son of Man, when you will know what I am he, that I am he, and that I do nothing on my own, but just as the Father taught me to say these things, the one who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone because I always do what pleases him. I don't want to read too far ahead because this kind of, the next section is long. And so anyway, we will talk about this. You could see that, Jesus is telling them over and over again exactly who he is. And they don't get it. They don't get it. We have people in the world like that today that no matter how much you tell them something, they don't get it. And what can you do with them? You can't do anything with them. They won't let you because they just don't get it. And so, yeah, we just had a little fight out here, out in the yard. I'm out in my backyard. It's pretty. It's pretty out here. I'll show you the go around. Okay, this is the go around here. It's a nice yard for two big dogs, right? Cody and Pepsi. And that's what I look at when I look at a house. Does it have a yard? That's important, especially if you're a mom with two dogs, a mother of two dogs. I mean, I'm the doggy's mommy, and so anyway, the kids were fighting, and the little girl was screaming at the top of her lungs, "Go home! I told you to go home." Well, she's saying this to this little boy that's not quite all there, I mean, it's not that he's retarded. I think he's ADHD or autistic or something. He's strange, but he doesn't get it. And he's still playing with his little gun, swinging it around. So I went out to see what the kids were up to because she was screaming at him. And so I said, he's pretty young, and someday he'll grow up into a nice man. Just give him some time. You don't scream at your friends, especially if you live by them. Go home. You have to live with them. He lives down the street, just across the alley. You're going to have to live with him. But just be nice. Give him some time. And so, and then she was telling me that she had some autism, on some autistic spectrum and whatever. She seems really pretty normal to me. But it was the little boy that didn't get it. He's little. He's still kind of small. So you have to, you know, they're kids. What can you do? And so anyway, and I'm not their parents. I could talk to her a little bit, calm her down, but because I'm wondering, is she gonna hit him over there? What's going on? You know, kids are. But anyway, these grown-ups that Jesus is talking to, they're kind of like big kids. They just don't get it. They just don't. Also, notice something about this passage. It's written in a different style than the passage prior to that about light and dark. And the first passage we went through is written in the same style that the light and dark one, that, you know, the intro. And so I think we have several different authors here, several people writing. Yeah, so I think that's the Jerusalem church had things that John wrote, and then his followers wrote and added to. And the fact that, you know, Jesus was killed, I think, had a lot to do with misunderstanding of those people that he's having this discussion with. You know, the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Sanhedrin and all those people, and they just don't understand him. You know, and by today's standards, if we would talk about someone like this, someone who would be proclaiming himself to be God, we would just say, yeah, it's a little schizophrenic. But, you know, because of the taboos around approaching one's religion and faith, we don't say those things. I remember saying that to a professor. I said, this looks a little schizophrenic to me, don't you? It was and he goes, shh, you can't say that. You can't say those things. And so we can't approach it like we do other people. We can't approach Jesus like we do other people. But he did back himself up with those miracles and those healings. He did do them. And that makes his story that much more valid. And now we have people that say Christ has appeared to them out of the blue and tells them that he's going to be back very soon. And he did that with me too. He's going to be back very, very soon. In fact, I could feel his breath on my ear. And I could feel his presence right here, right here. He was there. And so there is something going on. There is something going on. And so he was God sent. And as he insists, and they insist that he was God's only son, oh, well, maybe that's where he got all those miracles, you know, ability to do miracles. You would like to think. Anyway. But we will continue on with this section that we just read through it. Here, I don't want to open the Bible anymore. See? The wind. Lots of wind today. And we will continue on, and I'm at 8 minutes. I discovered this phone like just turns off at 10 minutes. Exactly. Poof. And so also, I wrote a note to whoever is left over after the rapture. And I have some unsaved family members who will probably be going through my stuff after the rapture. And they'll have to decide what to do with all these family antiques. I'm like the family historian. I do the family antique thing. I collect antiques. And he will no doubtedly want to take some. And he'll find the note to him and the other family members, because it's addressed to those left behind. This would be a good thing for you to do also. Write a letter for those left behind. I put mine in the china cabinet next to the funeral stuff. You know, plans for when I pass. And so, which now I'm beginning to wonder if I really need to continue to set, but you don't know what'll happen. Because I may kind of wonder if it's like, I'm going to be raptured, I'm not going to pass away. This kind of almost really looks at, but you don't know. We don't know. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow and we will continue on with this passage. Bye bye.